when your husband says, yeah, we can do it, you just agree and you jump in and you just grab the piglet by its legs. Turns out we've gotten a break in the weather, so I thought I was going to be able to work on the computer all day. But since I have a little break, I'm gonna go down and work on the pig shelter area to make sure that it handles the rain well before we get the piglets. I am at the new pig shelter now, actually the newly moved pig shelter. This is the same one that we had for our last batch of pigs. We've moved it to a different location. This location you probably can't tell very well, but it's on quite the incline. One of the concerns that we have is that water may run downhill and go into the shelter. It's actually been raining all day long today, so it hasn't really done very bad. It looks like the back half of the shelter is completely dry, but it could always change if there was a lot of rain. So what I'm going to do is come back where I have this 2x here, and I'm going to trench it out just a little bit so that I can set that board down in there and hopefully help divert any water that might run down the hill from running into their shelter and go around it. So let's see how that works.
All right, so this is my handiwork here. Just trenched a little bit, set that board down on the ground, just a few inches. Just want to make sure there's plenty of surface area above the ground to slow water down. So hopefully that will work. This shelter is a really simple use of just materials that we were able to gather. A few months ago, Michael was just watching Facebook Marketplace, and he found someone who had these oak pallets for $1 a piece. So we went and got about 20 of them. So this is using 6. There are 2 going down one side, 2 across the back, and 2 down the other side, and it's completely open on the front. So that's 6 pallets. The top is plastic panels. There's 4 of those, but they're overlapped just to make the size work out well. We have a 4x4 post on the front corner, or the front half, a 2x4 stacked on top of I think that's a 2x6, just a little block in there just to raise that up and support the middle. The back is just sitting on a 2x4 that's laying across the top portion of the shelter. Because of the incline here, really it wasn't really necessary to even raise the right hand side here up, but just to give it some, just keeping the design the way we had it before, where it was on more level ground. That worked really well. So because these are oak, they're extremely sturdy, and they withstood the beating that they got from the last 3 pigs that we had in them. So I feel like these will be able to hold up with this next batch as well. So if not, then we will regroup and we'll build another shelter as needed. But all of this together, we probably have about, Well, the majority of our money is in the plastic panels, which we've been able to reuse, but we probably have maybe $100 in the whole setup here with the shelter. Then the enclosure right now, this is a small enclosure because we're just getting piglets. So this is set up with 6 hog panels supported by T-post, and as soon as we get these 3 pigs, or piglets, they'll be little guys, we'll start clearing out the next section. We'll move them down 1 more paddock and then basically open this paddock up and make it 2 paddocks long. Then we'll start to move the shelter down and we'll start moving the paddocks further down the hill and back behind. And our goal is to use the pigs to clear a lot of this brush area and to get us over to, there's more of a flat area back behind there, but we can't even see that. We've not even been able to get to it because it is so thick with wild blackberries and just wild everything that is growing back there. So lots of thorns, and it's just been a struggle. So that's where we are right now, and the goal too is to bring a new portable chickshaw down and have the chickens running right behind the pigs in their sheltered area. They free range throughout the day, but we want to have their shelter next to where the pigs are, just to make the proximity for feeding a lot easier. We're also working on getting a more permanent, this is definitely a temporary water line. We're trying to figure out where we want it. So right now we have hose, and we'll run PVC underground. At some point down in this area, we'll have a permanent spigot and hopefully build a shelter here that will be a permanent shelter for feed and for some tools and things. So that's where we are.
Hey guys, it is the 3rd of May, and I have done absolutely no video to show what we've been doing here on our little homestead. To be honest, I don't feel like we are accomplished in any way, but we have learned a lot over the past year, having had 1 summer under our belt, raised 1 complete batch of pigs and 1 batch of meat birds. We've processed birds probably 3 times now. We have learned a lot. We've gotten a little more proficient at it. We're at the point now where we're able to better calculate feed for both for the chickens and for the pigs. And gardening has yet to happen. This summer's garden will be very small, and it will be just the bare necessities, probably not much more than cucumbers and tomatoes, because those are the things that I love. Maybe a few jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, but that will be probably about it for this year. We are kind of putting our focus on meat, since grass-fed and non-GMO fed meat is a little more difficult to find for a reasonable price in this area. There are definitely organic farmers in the state of Alabama, but we are able to raise our own pork and we're able to raise our own chicken. So we do those, and then if I'm going to buy meat any place, it's always going to be beef. So those are the 3 meats that we kind of stick to. I do love seafood, but we are committed to only buying wild caught seafood, and most of the time that's going to be Gulf shrimp. So those are the things that we like. That's what we're aiming for. my goal in sharing all of this is just to encourage people to not be afraid to just jump in and start. I definitely never thought that this was something that I would be doing, but sometimes when your husband says, yeah, we can do it, you just agree and you jump in and you just grab the piglet by its legs. So that's what we've done. We are expecting in the next week to get 3 more piglets for this to raise over the summer and to be harvested in the fall. And so that's what I've been trying to prepare for. The pen that we've gotten moved, we moved a shelter, we moved the hog panels from the location where they were last year. They definitely stayed in that spot for too long. We learned a lot about how to prepare the next plot for them. So that's what we're going to be working on this year. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we by no means have this figured out. We are just sharing as we go along. And I was a little hesitant to share a lot because I know that there will be a lot of criticism and I'll get plenty of messages about how I'm doing something wrong. But you know what? Failure is a way of learning, and we don't learn unless we try. So I just want to encourage any of you who have any interest in any sort of homesteading, whether it is raising chickens just for eggs or for meat, if it is raising pigs, if it is growing a garden, if it is raising rabbits or goats or whatever the Lord lays on your heart. I just want to encourage you to just be willing to try it. You know, the only way we learn is through doing. We can study it. We can study all the videos on YouTube and think we all have it down, and we're still going to make mistakes. You know, we're all still learning, so we're all still in process. As long as we're on this earth, we are in process. So I just want to encourage you to jump in. Don't be afraid of the criticism, and don't be afraid of those little piglets either. A lot of fun to watch grow, and it is really neat to know that you had a hand in bringing meat to your table. So that's really cool. Anyway, we're just doing the best that we can. We are growing step by step, and I encourage you to do the same. So my advice is to do what you can, where you are, with what you've got. Don't be afraid about how pretty it looks. Just make a step in the right direction. We only have one body, and we only get to live one life. So let's do the best that we can with it. Catch you guys on the next one.